For this lesson, we are going to draw the floor plan for a small office. You can see that it's 15 feet by 12 feet, and this is the overall dimensions. That means from the outside face of the wall to the outside face of the wall. To the inside, there is a 5-inch partition. There is a curved wall on this corner that has a radius of 3 feet. There is a set of windows, 2 windows at the top, that it starts at 1 foot 9 from the outside face of the wall, and the opening, the size of the opening is 5 foot 6. The mullions are 2 inches by 5 inches, which is the thickness of the wall. The length of the window is 2 foot 6 inches. In AutoCAD, you can go the 2 foot 6 inches or 30 inches. We're going to see it in a minute. Let's go to AutoCAD. And here we are. To input coordinates in AutoCAD, these are relative coordinates, and in our case, they are going to be polar coordinates. You use the @ sign in front of it. You provide the distance in the x direction first, and then followed by the y direction. There is a comma in between. Inches is the default of AutoCAD, so you never have to say inches. If you want to say 5 feet 6 inches, you can say at 5 foot 6. All right, so here we go. Let's set up our units. I'm going to say UN for units, and we are going to click on the pull-down menu and select architectural, and we're going to say OK. We're ready to go. I'm going to say rectangle, and the rectangle is going to be at 12 feet on the X, comma, 15 feet on the Y. And there it is. Right now I want to teach you the offset command. I'm going to click the escape key, O for offset, enter. It's asking me what is the distance of the offset. If we look at the exercise, what I'm really trying to do is to create the thickness of the wall. The distance of the offset is 5 inches, and it's to the inside of the rectangle that I just drew, because the 12 feet is the overall dimension. So here we're back on AutoCAD. We are offset. 5 is the distance. We select the rectangle, and we're going to the inside. Now, this is a rectangle. What I really want to have is lines. I'm going to explode the rectangle so that I can make it into lines. If I say X for explode, you can explode any object that is made up of several pieces. Select, enter. When you click, you have exploded the rectangle into its pieces. Right, let's create the window, the opening for the window. I'm going to zoom. I'm using my mouse to locate and have control of the object that I'm drawing. I'm going to say offset, and the first offset is 1 foot 9. I'm going to select the outside face of the wall, and there it is. Back to the offset command. This time I want the opening to be 5 foot 6. Select the line that I want to offset, the side that I want to offset it to. I'm going to trim. If I say TR for trim, I select the objects that I want to trim with. I want to use those 2 lines to trim the walls in the middle. To say that I have finished selecting the objects that I want to trim with, I press enter, and now I select the objects that I want to trim with. In this case, I didn't really need these lines, except for trimming. There you are. I'm going to draw the first mullion, rectangle. Make your first click. I'm going to say at 2 inches on the X, comma, minus 5 inches on the Y. Those are your coordinates. I'm going to create the first window. I'm going to say line, and this is the line of your seal. We're going to learn all about pen weights and line types, and that is when we will be able to put our exercise in layers and understand each of the parts of these windows. So I'm going to create my first window. My first window is 30 inches. I'm going to say copy the line of the seal. Copy that seal line to the opposite end. And I'm going to put one in the middle as well right now. I'm going to use it to create the glass. I'm going to say offset the glazing. I'm going to say offset. I want to make the glazing 1 inch thick. I'm going to offset it 1/2 inch to either side. I'm going to erase the line in the middle because I didn't really need it. I'm going to copy that window. Copy. I'm going to select both things using a window. I'm going to take it from the intersection of that mullion to the end of that line. I'm going to copy this time the mullion only, and I'm going to copy from that endpoint to that endpoint. And here we are. Let's create the curve for the wall. We are going to use the fillet command. If you say F for fillet, you see the hyperlink options that you have. We are going to choose radius. When it comes up, we're going to say we want to have a 3-foot radius. When you select the two lines that intersect each other, you can see exactly what it's doing. I want to do the same thing with the outside, but this time I have to consider that now I have added 5 inches for that wall. So I'm going to get back to the fillet command. I'm going to select radius again, but this time I'm going to say 3 foot. Let me go back to radius again. I'm going to say 3 feet 5 inches. I'm going to select the two lines, and there you have it. Right? I'm going to create an opening here for the door. Let's look at that door for a minute. Here is the door. It's going to be at 11 inches from the outside face, and the size of the door is 3 feet. So here we are. I'm going to say offset 11 inches. This is the line that I want to offset. I'm going to offset 36 inches. Back to the offset command, offset 36. This time I'm going to be a little more careful with my trim. When I say TR for trim, I want to use these two lines to create the opening, but I also want to use this line because I want to keep those edges. We're going to see what happens with that. To say I have finished selecting the objects I want to trim with, press enter. Now we are going to select what we don't want. We don't want that line. We don't want that line, but we also don't want this line or that line. And we have effectively created the opening for the door, and we have kept the two ends of the walls. I'm going to draw the symbol for the opening of the door. Here is rectangle. I'm going to locate the hinge position of the door, and I'm going to say at. The standard thickness of a door, we are going to use 1 3/4. You can see that AutoCAD also takes decimals. We're going to say 1.75, comma, instead of 3 feet, I'm going to say 36 inches. Inches is the default. I don't have to worry about telling the feet and the inches if I can just give the inches. I'm going to say A for arc. We have done the 3-point arc in the past. This time we are going to draw it from the center. And the center is going to really be the hinge position of our door. Right there. Here is our first click. And here is our second click. And the reason is because AutoCAD is positive when it goes counterclockwise. Right, so that's something to remember. We're going to come back and check it a couple of times. All right, so here is our office. In the next lesson, we will add furniture, and we will see how we keep going.